Stand in mountain pose at the head of your mat. In mountain pose, your feet are hip-width apart and parallel, with your arms relaxed at your sides. Breathing in, stretch your arms overhead. Lift your chest and side ribs, and breathe steadily. Steady breath in and out through your nose, balancing the breaths in and out. As you breathe out, bend your knees and hinge slightly forward. This is powerful pose or chair pose. Draw the abdomen in slightly to stabilize your lower back. Keeping your knees bent, hinge from the hips to come parallel to the floor, stretching your arms. Keep your back as flat as possible and bring your hands to the floor. Breathe in, stepping your left foot back, rest your knee on the floor in low lunge pose. It's fine to pad your knee if it's uncomfortable. Low lunge works best if your left knee is back far enough that you can gently press your hips down. It's a nice stretch for your thighs. Breathe in, stretching your arms overhead, a strong stretch that lifts your chest. Keep your face calm and your breath steady. Now, lowering your arms, turn your toes under. Breathing in, and with a good breath out, step back to downward facing dog pose. Coming onto the balls of your feet, bend your knees and push the floor with both arms. To move your hips towards the rear of your mat and stretch your upper back. Slightly lift the bottom hips, called the sits bones, to stretch your hamstrings. And moving slowly, keep your sits bones lifted and begin to straighten your knees, pushing your heels toward the rear of your mat. And breathe out well. Breathing out is important to help keep the cobwebs out of your head. Now to plank pose. Lift your head, and keeping your back flat by drawing your belly in, exhale and move your shoulders forward over your hands. Keeping your elbows in line with your wrists, lower yourself a couple of inches off the floor to yoga push-up, or come all the way to the floor. And then curl up to upward facing dog pose, arms and legs straight, chest lifted. Press your hands against the floor to roll your shoulders back. Breathe in, breathing out, return to downward facing dog pose. Let's try the yoga push-up one more time. I know this may be difficult, but with practice you will find the strength and balance needed. Drawing your abdomen in, shift your weight forward until your shoulders are over your hands. Plank pose. Keep moving forward as you bend your arms and lower yourself to yoga push-up or the floor. And curl immediately up to upward facing dog pose. A strong back bend in which your hands are pressing the floor and your feet are firmly rooted. Breathe in, breathe out back to downward dog. Slow, steady breaths. Make sure your breath out is as long as your breath in. Now breathing in, step your left foot forward to your hands, coming to low lunge pose again. Take a wide stance that lets your hips sink. Keeping your chest open, breathe in as you raise your arms overhead, lifting and opening the heart. Be calm and breathe steadily. Any breath sounds you hear will be in the throat, not the nose. See if you can stretch your arms back a little bit while still breathing well. Now, lowering your arms, step forward to standing forward bend with your feet together. Relax into this forward fold. Just let your arms hang. Your breathing will slow down, and the weight of your upper body relaxing towards earth will release tension in your low back. Bending your knees deeply, stretch your arms forward, and exhale to bring your torso parallel to the floor. Long neck, steady breathing. Keeping the knees bent, come up to powerful pose, drawing the belly in to support the back. Now straighten your knees. Bring your palms together, dropping your head back, gaze at your thumbs. Open the chest, and then bring the palms together at the chest. Stand with your feet wide apart and parallel, stretching your arms out at shoulder level to help line your hands up with your feet. Now hold your hips. For triangle pose, rotate your right leg out 90 degrees, making sure you turn your leg out enough that your knee faces your toes. Turn your left foot and hips to the right only about 10 degrees, lining your heels up for greater stability. Now stretch your right arm up by your ear, creating a strong stretch from your side ribs to your fingertips. Keep that stretch as you inhale, sliding your hips towards the rear of the mat, and exhaling, bring your right hand down to your leg, to the floor by your right big toe, or use a block under your hand if you wish. That can be very helpful in the beginning. Looking down, press down through the right fingers. Feel how that helps you lift your chest, pulling your left collarbone up and shoulder back. And as your heart opens, turn your skull to the left. If your neck bothers you, try relaxing it and letting your head hang a bit. And of course, don't turn your head at all if it's uncomfortable to do so. Breathing in, extend your left arm up, pulling your left shoulder back even more to deeply awaken the upper back. Don't expect to be able to follow every cue right away. I promise you'll improve as you practice. Breathe in, release, and come up to stand. Lift up out of your legs and hold your hips. Let's do the second side. Turn your left leg out 90 degrees, making sure your knee faces your toes. That little adjustment is worthwhile making because it keeps your knee happy. Turn your right foot and hips slightly to the left, lining your heels up. Now stretch your left arm up by your ear and breathing in, slide your hips to the rear of your mat. Exhale, placing your hand on your leg, by your big toe, or on a block. And pressing down with your fingers, engage a lift that comes up through the chest and into the right shoulder, pulling the right collarbone away from the center chest. Pull your shoulder back and begin to turn your head from your heart, a spiral that rotates all the way to the belly. Inhale as you extend your right arm strongly and gaze at your hand. Though remember, if your neck bothers you, don't turn your head at all. Keep your breath steady. The breath times the pose. Being able to breathe out strongly will keep you in the pose longer. You come out of the pose on a breath in, beginning to stand, and exhale, stand up from the hips and step your feet together. Side angle pose. Stand with your feet wide apart and parallel with each other. Stretch your arms out at shoulder level to use as a measure to position your feet in line with your hands. Shorten or widen your stance a bit if need be. Then hold your hips and turn your right leg out 90 degrees, turning the thigh out enough that the knee faces the toes. Turn your left foot and hips to the right a little bit. Line your heels up for greater stability. Now stretch your right arm up by your ear and breathing in, slide your hips towards the rear of the mat. Breathing out, stretch out over your right leg, bending your knee to form a 90-degree angle. Arm inside the knee, fingers by the ankle. Stay grounded in the back leg, spreading the ball of the left foot and pressing the outer edge down. Now press down through your right hand, lift your left collarbone and pull your shoulder back. Swing your left arm down toward the floor and then up alongside your ear, spinning your upper arm behind the ear. Inhaling, rotate your skull left and exhale to pull your chin into your arm. Keep your breathing steady. Back leg strong. And keep the pose dynamic. Breathing in, come up to stand, and breathing out, lift from the legs, holding your hips as you change sides. Left leg turns out 90 degrees. Right leg and hips turn about 10 degrees in. And stretch your left arm up by your ear, breathing in. Slide your hips towards the rear of the mat, stretching out, bend your left knee 90 degrees. Fingertips down by the inner heel. This pose is strenuous, or I find it to be. When we exert too much effort, our breathing can be strained, so focus on keeping the breath steady, breathing with the mouth closed, inhalations and exhalations equal. Pressing down through your left hand, lift the chest as you swing your right arm down and up alongside the ear, rolling your right ribs back and turning your head to bring your chin near your arm. Lean against your knee slightly as you pull your right collarbone up and back. And as the twist deepens, keep your knee fixed. Inhale, begin to stand. Exhaling, lift out of the belly to come up, holding your hips. Turn your feet forward and step your feet together. Stand on your mat with your feet wide and parallel with each other. Extend your arms at shoulder level, adjusting your feet to be in line with your hands. Now hold your hips. Warrior pose 1. Turn your left foot to the right about 10 degrees and your right leg out 90 degrees, aligning your right knee to face your toes. Pull your right hip back to help turn your hips to face the head of your mat. Keep your left heel well anchored. That's very important. As you breathe in and raise your arms overhead, strongly stretching the arms and lifting your chest towards your chin. Breathing in, bend your right leg to a 90-degree angle. Exhale, positioning the right knee over the ankle with your thigh parallel to the floor. Make any adjustment in your stance needed to give you that 90-degree bend. Expand and lift the chest from your side ribs and continue to breathe steadily as you sweep your arms back, deepening the back bend. Inhale, straighten your front knee as you bring your spine upright. And exhale, lowering your arms, hold your hips, and turn your feet forward. Moving to the second side. Right foot turns slightly in, left leg turns out 90 degrees, knees facing the toes. And pull your left hip back to help turn the hips to face the head of the mat. Warrior One is a pose that develops both strength and flexibility. Keep your back leg anchored as you breathe in, sweeping the arms forward and overhead. Stretch the arms up, lifting your chest toward your chin. And continue to breathe steadily, mouth closed, exhalations and inhalations equal. Breathing in, bend your left knee and breathe out into your lunge, knee over heel, thigh parallel to the floor. And if you're ready for a deeper challenge, breathe out, rolling your arms and shoulders back and down to deepen the back bend. All the while, keep your elbows straight and your chest lifting. Believe it or not, to relax your back muscles is the goal here. Come out of the pose by straightening the knee, turning forward, lowering your arms, and stepping your feet together. Stand with your feet hip-width apart and parallel and shift your weight to one leg. This is your standing leg. You want to firmly ground it by pressing your foot to the floor. As you breathe in, raise your free leg, placing your foot as high up the inside of your standing leg as possible and stretching your arms to shoulder level. Now turn your palms up and on an exhalation, stretch your arms overhead. If you're not able to raise your foot as high as I'm demonstrating, try putting your foot by your knee or your toes on the floor and your heel on your ankle. Draw your belly in and up, breathing steadily. Keep your balance as you join your palms at your chest. And step back to mountain pose, feet hip-width apart. Shift your weight to your second leg. Create a strong and conscious rooting through that leg as you place your foot as high on the standing leg as possible and extend your arms strongly to the side. Drawing in and up in the belly will help you relax your neck and shoulders. As you extend your arms overhead, keep your breathing steady and your gaze fixed forward and slightly down. Now bring your palms together at your chest. Hold your balance. And step back to mountain pose. Palms together at the chest. Lying on your back, pull your knees towards your chest to begin reclining belly twist. Holding your left knee, stretch your right leg into the air and with a good slow breath out, lower it to the floor, keeping it active the whole time you're in this pose. On your next breath in, roll to your right, bringing your knee on or near the floor and stretch your left arm up. If this pulls your lower back, move your left hip over toward your knee more or put your knee on a block. On your next breath in, stretch your left arm out to the left, bringing it about halfway to the floor. And keep the arm active. This isn't just about position. Turn your head to gaze at your hand. And keeping your hand raised, exhale, pressing your left shoulder toward the mat. This will increase the work in your upper back muscles and really wring some of the tension out of your upper back. Keep your breath steady. Breathing in, roll onto your back and hug your knees in. Now hold your right knee and stretch your left leg up. With a good out breath, lower your leg to the floor, keeping it active the whole way and throughout the twist. Breathing in, roll to your left, bringing the right knee to the floor or to a block, and stretch your right arm up. Breathing in, reach out to the right, and breathing out, stretch the arm about halfway to the floor, turning your head to gaze at your hand. Feel your right shoulder blade pushing towards your hand to open your shoulders more. And without lowering your hand, exhale your right shoulder to the floor. And then you could do that again. Exhale and press the shoulder to the floor again. Don't hold your breath. Now breathing in, roll onto your back again. With a nice exhale, hug your knees to your chest. Begin this simple seated twist, upright in a cross-legged position with your right ankle in front of your left. Elevate your hips on a folded blanket if that helps you to keep your spine straight. Stay seated in this position for a moment to make sure that your spine is straight and your breath is steady. Now with your left hand, hold your right knee, placing your right hand on the floor behind you. This creates a gentle spinal twist. Keep your breathing slow and easy, making space to breathe out. Begin to juice up the twist by exhaling and pressing down with both hands. You'll feel the muscles in your back respond. Pull your right shoulder slightly back, turning your head to the right to deepen the twist more. And you may be able to reach behind your back to hold your left thigh, but that's fine if you can't do it. Simply put your right hand on the floor again. Now again, pay attention to your breathing. If you can't breathe steadily, back away from the twist a bit. And while you hold the twist, continue to relax your back muscles. I'll often move my spine slightly, just to make sure I'm not stiffening. Inhale and release this side. And change your cross legs so the left ankle is in front of the right. And your right hand now holds your left knee. Place the left hand on the floor behind you. Remember the importance of breathing steadily. If you're not breathing well in a twist, your muscles are not happy either. So don't force. Work at your own pace. With an exhalation, press down through both hands to engage your muscles more, pulling your left shoulder back and rotating your head to the left. And again, you can reach behind your back to hold your right thigh if that's possible. But your pose is not necessarily better if you hold your thigh. Push your hand into the floor instead if this gives you a better feeling in your back. So steady breathing, fluid spine. Inhale, release the twist. Exhale, facing forward, resting your hands on your knees. Sit at the end of your mat in cobbler's pose. Soles of the feet together, knees apart. If you can't sit upright with ease, elevate your hips on a blanket. Now stretch your right leg forward, straightening your knee and centering your weight on the back of the heel. Reach up with your left arm, strongly stretching it as you extend forward to hold the outer leg or foot. Move your right hand forward and give a little push to help open the chest. This is head to knee pose, a forward bend that's naturally calming to the belly. It's also a spinal rotation. In this pose, that's great for taking morning stiffness out of the back. Keeping your chest lifted, place your hand on your hip. Pull the right collarbone and shoulder back to open the upper back more. And gaze at your right foot, breathing steadily while you're in the pose. Now reach forward, holding your foot with both hands. You may need to modify your position in the beginning. If your knee hurts, support it with a block or a blanket. And please use a strap looped around your foot if you can't hold your foot and keep your chest open at the same time. The plan here is over the years to increase your flexibility to the point that you can rest your abdomen and then your chest, and finally your head on your legs. At this point, I suggest you stay sitting upright and focus on keeping your chest open and your back straight. And slowly relax your hips, lengthening the front of the body toward the foot. And if you can begin to feel you could press your abdomen to your thigh, then by all means try that, or go further. But remember, the key is patience. The work is surrender. Breathe in as you sit up and bring the soles of your feet together again. Now stretch your left leg forward and your right arm strongly up by the ear. Really stretch your spine as you reach forward to hold the outer leg or foot. Again, don't overreach. It's better to err on the side of caution. Bring your left hand forward and give a little push to help keep your chest open. Now bring your left hand to your hip and begin pulling your left collarbone and shoulder back. All the while, keep your head turned forward and gaze at your left foot. This is a twist, remember, so make sure your breathing stays steady. Mouth closed. Equal ratios between breaths in and out. Release your twist and reach forward to hold the foot with both hands or use a strap around your foot. Calm your breathing and your belly and begin to soften your hips to deepen the forward bend. Remember, this is not a contest. Our goal is to surrender patterns of tension and holding that are getting in the way of your well-being. Yoga, at its core, is a practice of balancing effort with surrender, and this pose is a great one to work on that. Now breathing in, begin to sit up. Lying on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor in constructive rest pose. Placing a blanket under your head if your neck feels tense or your shoulders are tight. And then rest your arms on the floor at your sides, closing your eyes. Direct your attention down into the belly and relax. Allowing your breath to settle into a gentle rhythm in and out. Now slowly stretch your legs out and relax them. Continue to use your breathing to keep your mind focused during this short yoga rest. If the mind wanders, simply bring your attention back to the gentle rhythm of your body expanding with each breath in and relaxing with each breath out. Feel your hips sink. Your lower back relax. And your shoulders drop into the floor. Even your face relaxes, especially between the eyes. The body is heavy, but you feel light, filled with energy that has expanded and grown as you practiced. Keep that quality, relaxed body, alert mind as you roll slowly to your right, resting your head on your arm for a moment. And when you're ready, come up to sit in a cross-legged position, joining your hands at your chest. Namaste.